as of 27th, the situation obtaining in Eastern DRC changed drastically, and by the 29th, the city of Goma had fallen to the M23. And after declaration of the fall of the Goma to the M23, there were riots which started in Kinshasa and later on ended up destroying property. Government of Uganda mission in Kinshasa was attacked, broken into, property looted, and part of the premises torched. Fortunately, all our staff had been advised earlier, because of our proactiveness, not to go to the embassy or to go to the mission. As we report now, all our embassy staff have been ably evacuated and they are home, save for a few who are operating on the neighborhood of DRC. Uganda is very much concerned about the escalating situation that has not only seen people die, those who are trapped in the war, but also trade almost shut down. Because you may recall, Uganda's biggest trading partners of now is DRC, and especially eastern part of the DRC. So we're very much concerned about the situation obtaining in eastern part of the DRC. Uganda continues to call upon the warring parties or the conflicting parties to abandon war. We call upon immediate and unconditional cessation of hostilities and getting back to negotiating table, because lives have been lost, for which we condole with the families of the loved ones who have died, including the peacekeepers under Sam Idris and also MONUSCO, plus innocent civilians who have lost their lives. Uganda continues to bear pressure, especially on account of so many refugees who have come in Uganda. Just to inform the country, by December 2024, Uganda was host to 560,000 refugees, all of these coming from DRC. Now, with the current insurgency, we know there has been an influx of many more thousands who have crossed over. So we continue to suffer that pressure on our social amenities. We continue to observe the situation very, very closely to ensure that, including when the refugees come in Uganda, we don't have the terrorists to infiltrate our territory. So security is on high alert on the eastern part of DRC, just to ensure safety of Ugandans and to maintain the security and territorial integrity of our country, Uganda. We would like on the same note to advise our citizens of Uganda who have been plying between Uganda and Kinshasa by air, and many or thousands of those who cross daily to do cross-border trade, to hold on. We'll be giving advisory when the situation normalizes. But as of now, government of Uganda is doing everything possible to ensure that all those who are in Kinshasa are evacuated and brought back home. We began by our mission staff. Like I've said earlier, all of them, save for two, are back home. The two I've talked about are operating in the neighborhood. And they're also there to keep watching the situation closely, but also to offer consular services to the rest of Ugandans who would like to be evacuated. Because if you brought out everybody, how then would the others be evacuated? So the other two who have remained behind are operating but in a safe zone, but monitoring the rest of the Ugandans, Ugandan traders, Ugandan citizens who are working in DRC, so that they can have safe exit of Kinshasa. Yesterday, I had a phone discussion with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and also Minister of Defense of DRC, who assured us that stability had come back to Kinshasa. Our embassy that was broken into and looted is now under guard by the military of DRC and the police. So our building is safe, save for the damage which had already been occasioned. We're in touch with the Congolese government, the DRC government, about the looting, about the damage that has been occasioned to our property. But that we shall handle diplomatically to see how we can restore. Remember, this is a newly built and recently handed over state-of-the-art mission. So we are very much concerned about what happened, but we are handling it diplomatically, and the process is smooth so far. Uganda's position has always been dialogue is the way to go. Uganda believes a lot of damage and collateral damage is occasioned when we use war as a solution to conflict. So we continue to urge the warring parties, government of DRC, and the rebels to put down arms and conditionally and get back to the negotiating table. Uganda's approach has always been regional, because we do understand clearly that the conflict in DRC is both internal and regional, and therefore can only have a regional mechanism. Under the auspices of East Africa, East Africa began a process under the Nairobi East African-led peace process. SADC also began the SADC Rwanda-led peace process. Our proposal as Uganda and our belief is that we cannot have these disjointed processes. We urge for the merging of the two processes into one that can easily be monitored and implemented. So our call is for the government of DRC and the warring parties to immediately cease hostilities and unconditionally get back to the drawing table.
Uganda and Rwanda.
It's not true that Uganda has been implicated, but has only been accused, because implication means you're operating on evidence. There's no evidence whatsoever. Uganda military has presence in DRC on agreement by the government of DRC to carry out a joint UPDF FADC mission against the insurgents, the ADF, the terrorists of ADF who killed both Congolese and Ugandans. So on agreement of government of DRC, Uganda's military entered to carry out a joint operation against these insurgents. And that's why you hear in areas where Operation Shujaa is happening, or where it has happened, there is now peace. People have gone back home. People are now happy. Our argument is that this Operation Shujaa should proceed, and we are thankful to the government of DRC for recently accepting limitless area of exploitation to the joint Shujaa operation. So that's what Uganda is in DRC to do. But Uganda does not take part in internal affairs of neighboring, not any other foreign sovereign country. Not in 2013, the M23 had captured GOMA, and with the help of the regional intervention, President Museveni particularly convinced the M23 to let down their arms, and they came to Uganda in 2013, at that time as ex-combatants. These ex-combatants were demobilized. Their arms were jointly inspected between the government of Uganda and the government of DRC, International Red Cross, international journalists, and consequently, those who were DRC citizens were handed over under repatriation arrangement by government of Uganda. Same for those who are not citizens of DRC, who were distributed in northern Uganda in refugee camps. Now, there are two. It's important to get clear that yes, when they were persuaded to give up that occupation of GOMA in 2013, some of the M23 crossed over to Uganda on arrangement that was agreed, and they were demobilized, the arms were inspected, they were sent back, handed over at Kasindi to government of DRC, and even the arms were handed over. So to say they came from Uganda, yes, but put in context how they went back as ex-combatants, demobilized fully. So when they go back to DRC, it's not Uganda's responsibility to take care of what they do and where they live. No, I don't think this has to do with our diplomatic relations. Take, for example, what happened in the Republic of Kenya. You know, these were rioters. These were hooligans. By the way, they did not attack our embassy. They attacked Uganda House in Nairobi. This is our the commercial arm of the mission. So yes, it was attacked and looted the ground floor, which was being housed by private operators. I think these were shops selling textiles and other items. So these were just hooligans. Although it's the responsibility of governments to take care and secure diplomatic installations of the missions from governments, sending governments. But during time of riots, I think you may not quickly respond other than when damage has already been occasioned. So it's not true that it is governments which have occasioned attack on our diplomatic installations. No. Even in the case of yesterday but one in Kinshasa, it were rioters. But when we contacted government, quickly the government quickly sent security, military and police, and they effectively took charge of our property. Like I've said, we're going to handle ours diplomatically. We still continue to insist we're going to engage a diplomatic lane to solve this matter. No, I think we need to make the public understand the process of accepting or of receiving a head of mission or a foreign service officer into the receiving state. Here in Uganda, under Article 122(1) of the Constitution, the President appoints heads of missions or ambassadors. Now, once appointed, the Minister of Foreign Affairs processes what we call a request for permission for this particular individual or these individuals to enter the host country. So in reciprocation or in reply, the receiving country sends what we call an agreement. That is an acceptance. Before being accepted, you can't cross over to the receiving state. So they verify, they vet your profile. They vet, of course, using many departments, including Department of Homeland Security. And once they find you not a threat to the internal security of their country, the host country will now say, yeah, we acknowledge receipt, we have vetted, and we agree or we accept the person proposed to come in our country. Now that's the first layer. Once that has been done, then you can't say person has been rejected. And I want to put now this into context. That is exactly what happened with our proposed head of mission to Republic of DRC. The second phase is presenting credentials. Now, presenting credentials also has two phases. The first lap is to present to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to permit you commence operations, because then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will be executing duties on behalf of the head of state. Now, finally, you present the credentials to head of state. Now, that's what we call a final lap. But countries are also at liberty to reject. And once they reject, a sending state will quickly withdraw the proposal. So in the instant case, Uganda proposed, DRC gave an agreement, the head of mission went, presented credentials to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, but has not yet presented credentials to the president. But he's there working. So we cannot say, please, Mr. President, receive very quickly. No. Our job is, once we have received an agreement, the head of mission has gone, he's hosted in that country, he's transacting business. The rest of the processes, those are internal processes. We wait to see the outcome. Well, the crisis or the situation obtaining in the eastern part of DRC is not palatable, and it affects all of us who are neighbors. DRC is extremely critical economically, socially, and politically to the Republic of Uganda. We share the boundaries, and you know the eastern part of DRC is extremely forested. There are so many insurgents who operate in that part of the world. We have there so many rebel groups. We have there so many terrorists, and terrorists who escape from there, hail from there and come to terrorize Uganda. It's common knowledge that the ADF, who also hide in the jungles of DRC, come and terrorize people. They kill Ugandans. They also kill Congolese. So that becomes now a regional matter. And we are thankful to the government of DRC for having allowed a joint operation between UPDF and FADC. And we're also thankful that now recently, government of DRC has given us what we call unlimited scope of exploitation. Because previously, they would allow us a limited scope, and that would make the insurgents, the terrorists, just to check where our area stops, then they go to the next location. And would not go there because we don't have permission in foreign land. Now, with unlimited area of exploitation, we're able to follow them wherever they will go. Our appeal to Ugandans is that stay vigilant and continue to report with security agencies whenever you see anybody suspicious, whenever you see anybody that is not known in an area, whenever you see anybody carrying suspicious items. Ugandans have gotten an advantage that the gun has been fully demystified. All wananchi in Uganda, must about 90%, they now have knowledge of the gun. They have knowledge of behavior of some of these terrorists, although some try to camouflage as much as possible, but it can be known. So report security and cooperate with security agencies in accordance with Article 17 to the Constitution of Uganda. So I would like to appeal to those who are trading that this might be short-lived. We do not know. It might be short-lived. It might be long-term. But the region, having held a summit as of yesterday, the heads of states have agreed unanimously to appeal to the government of DRC and also the insurgents of M23 to lay down their arms and get back to the negotiating table. Sooner or later, we hope peace will return in the eastern part of DRC. Normalcy will return in Kinshasa, and business will resume. We had advised Uganda Airlines stop their flights to Kinshasa. This was for safety reasons. Government of Uganda continues to monitor the situation, and we shall give an advisory as to when Uganda Airlines should fly back, and business will commence. Yes, we have received information to the effect that there are about 390 Ugandans who are due to be deported from US. Of course, every country, every sovereign country has their roles, have their laws and rules on how which govern immigrants. We continue to appeal to our citizens of Uganda to avoid illegal migration, to avoid illegal entry into sovereign countries. When you intend to leave Uganda, receive permission to enter a country that you intend to go to. You have your travel document, go through immigration, let your travel document be stamped, and make sure you have permission to enter that country where you intend to go. Beware of human traffickers, because we have used some foreign victims to human trafficking in this country. Last year, we did the rescue about 39 Ugandans who had been trafficked. Apparently, they were deceived. They were being taken to Malaysia. They ended up in Myanmar. And once they reached Myanmar, they were recruited into rebellion. So you had a choice, either to get a gun and join the gang or be killed. So some 2 Ugandans were killed. Some 1 Ugandan died on account of failure to do the hard physical work or the physical exercises. And then the others who were able to hustle through were lucky, were rescued. So this is an alert to Ugandans. Please be very conscious. And don't run for easy things, for easy benefit. Of course, somebody will come and give you a very pleasant story. You're here in Uganda suffering. Out there is rose. Where you're being told is rose. It's not a bed of roses at all. So Ugandans must be extremely conscious, not just to go out with anybody. Well, deportation is occasioned under the following circumstances. 1, when you are discovered by the country where you're staying, when you are reported to have entered illegally, or when you commit crimes that the receiving state or the host state does not accept. So if they see you as a threat to the national security or a threat to the well-being of the wananchi, then they will deport you. Or if you are convicted and your country has repatriation arrangement, deportation arrangement with the country where you initially, you can be deported to serve your sentence at home. So those are the various circumstances under which you can be deported.
But in this particular case, they give specific reasons as well.
Well, we're yet to get the specific reasons.